Alex's Caves is getting its second major update soon, and this time we're getting a brand new cave, Candy Cavity. Although there's no banana guards or Princess Bubblegum, this cave is filled with a plethora of sweet, new, original content. So let's get into this. From generation to mobs, structures, and more, here's everything that we currently know about the Candy Cavity. To get to the Candy Cavity, you'll have to, much like all the other cave biomes in this mod, find a new unique cave tablet, this time spawning inside the witch hut structure in swamps. Take that to a spelunkery table, do the little mini game, obtain the cave codex, surround it with paper, and then you've got a map to the brand new Candy Cavity. The Candy Cavity, very much like the primordial caves, feels like its very own dimension entirely underground, with one striking difference. Everything is made out of candy, and if the rumors are to be believed, everything is going to be edible as well. The Sweetscape is filled with tons of tasty treats that make this place feel right out of Wreck-It Ralph. From ice cream mountains in 3 different flavors, lollipop trees, new Lico root trees, huge donuts with rock candy sprinkles that I cannot wait to fly through with my elytra, massive chocolate bars lodged into the ground, rivers of soda flowing directly from the bottle, with gummy rings floating within them, frost mints which sit above said soda rivers, which if shot with a projectile will fall into the soda, making a huge explosion, cookie shelves wedged into the sides of terrain, ice cream cone stalactites, rainbows being caused by sun drops, jawbreaker geodes so big that they take Luke the Notable 100 days to get through, and a variety of other blocks that make up the biome, such as frosted chocolate, regular chocolate, layer cake, tiny lollipops, sprinkles, cotton candy, and candy cane. And like I said, everything is edible. Just be careful you don't end up with the new diabetes effect that's been rumored. This candy paradise seems like the perfect place to live, but do not let its sweet nature deceive you. This place is home to creatures that'll rot your teeth and your health bar if you're not careful. 9 new mobs inhabit this candy cave, some of which have their own structures and others who are less civilized. Starting off small, and I mean really small, introducing the wonderful Gingerbread Men. These charming fellas have their own gingerbread villages, fit with gingerbread houses, gingerbread castles, gingerbread paths, and gingerbread 1x1 doors. That is a lot of gingerbread. The little dudes themselves have over 20 variants they can be decorated as, some resembling mobs that are already in the game, and others being references to important people in the mods community, one of them even being Alex himself. Though to get some of these special variants, you'll need to use a name tag on the Gingerbread Man. They like to give a little wave and run around like they're on the peak of a sugar rush. Probably because they are. There doesn't really seem to be much else to eat in this cave. Their villages also contain the new trading barrel block, which we can assume you'll be able to trade with them at for some sweet treats. I imagine it'll be akin to the way that you trade with the deep ones in the Abyssal Chasm, but that's just me hazarding a guess. Working our way up this not-so-savory food chain, we've got the Gumbeeper, a candified version of its relative we see in the overworld. The Gumbeeper is a hostile mob that will attack you with ranged gumball attacks. I'd imagine these things do minimal damage, but just be careful that it's not glowing. Alex is adding charged variants of the Gumbeeper and the new Cleaper this update. If you get too close to the Gumbeeper, it'll explode into a pinata of gumballs, like any good candy-themed creeper should. So just keep your distance no matter how tasty those balls look. I bet now you're thinking to yourself, what was that freaky candy cane thing? What the hell? Why were its arms spinning? What is that? Well, humble viewer, let me introduce you to the Caniac. These guys bear a striking resemblance to the Brainiac in the Toxic Caves, and are arguably the most terrifying mob you can find in the Candy Cavity. I can only think of one huge competitor. But anyway, these guys have a face straight out of my nightmares, and arms built to climb walls and hook onto their victims. This candy cane killer is not to be taken lightly. Terrible wordplay aside, if the Caniac spots you, it'll start pelting towards you, spinning its arms like an actual psychopath in the process. They also have a leap attack where they'll attempt to hook their arms onto you, and it seems like they're not even chill with other hostile mobs. They'll just attack anything, whatever, whenever. This dude is literally the Candy Cavity's chaos incarnate. God, that was a tongue twister. Let's move on. Lightening up the mood, let's move back to some passive mobs. The Sweetish Fish, other than their clear inspiration from the actual candy brand, are the aquatic mobs of this biome, and they call the soda rivers their home. Unfortunately for them, however, they're the natural prey of the new Gummy Bears, who will often try and grab the Sweetish Fish out of their soda rivers. I mean, I can't really blame them. They do look delicious. Not much is known about the Gummy Bears' behavior right now, so I'm just going to assume that they're passive, or will only attack you when you attack them. Both the Sweetish Fish and the Gummy Bears come in a variety of colors, and the Gummy Bears will only eat the fish with their corresponding color. For our last entry in the passive segment, allow me to introduce the most majestic of the lot, the Candicorn, a majestic new mount that is the perfect blend of candy and unicorn. They come in 5 variants: the Cotton Candicorn, Candicorn, the Bomb Pop Candicorn, the Frost Mint Candicorn, the Peppermint Candicorn, and the original Candicorn. I think my favorite is the Cotton Candy one. I mean, just look at that smile. How could it not be? Unique to this mount is a brand new dash attack, and they can all go fast and jump high, which is typically what you'd want in a mount, so it's a win in my books. They also have unique animations to differentiate them from the vanilla horses, and these make them 10 times more majestic. Next up, we've got the Candy Cavity's answer to slimes, caramel cubes. These guys are much stickier than slimes and leave behind puddles of caramel, which will slow the player down, similar to cobwebs if you step into them. I also presume due to their slime-like nature, they might even drop a caramel slime ball that you can chom on. And speaking of chomming, introducing the biggest foe that this cave has to offer, the gumworm. This mini-boss has a similar functionality to the Eater of Worlds from Terraria, burrowing and jumping in and out of the ground and making the biome so much more dangerous. Simply because you don't even have to summon him from what I can tell. He is just there. He lives within this place. Each segment of the gumworm is 2x2 blocks, and it's made up of 12 segments, making this beast 34 blocks long. For reference, the hull breaker in the Abyssal Chasm is only 15 blocks long. This guy is huge. Anyway, back on track from my little tangent. Since it's a mini boss, it's safe to assume it'll have a ton of health, probably the most in the cave. And I've heard it might be attacking those gingerbread villagers I mentioned earlier. So if you care about those little guys, prepare for the sweetest fight of your life. And for our last mob, I raise you the question, why is the cave like this? You've been watching this video and haven't questioned why everything is made out of candy. Where did the candy cavity come from? Well, getting into the lore here, the whole cave is the creation of a secret coven of witches, powerful enough to shift the very nature of the overworld themselves. Introducing the Licco Witch! These powerful sorcerers live in variants of the new Licco root trees, which have witches' huts seated within, housing a coven of witches and their boss lady, the Licco Witch. I think the best comparison I can do here is regular witches are like piglins, and the Licco Witch is like a piglin brood, except a tiny bit more magic. The Licco Witch can be found gazing into their conversion crucible, a block that we will talk about soon, while wearing their very own candy cosplay and making their Hansel and Gretel fanfiction come true. Okay, jokes aside, these guys are witches who have been buffed up to mini-boss level and given a new range of candy-themed magic to throw at you, since they're the ones who made the candy cavity like this in the first place. They have a range of attacks from throwing peppermints at you, throwing potions like a regular witch, summoning Caniacs, and maybe even buffing them with this glowing effect that can be seen here, although that is just me speculating. Take that with a grain of salt. However, their conversion crucible is the real star of this show. It can be used to shift the very nature of the overworld itself and change biomes around it. By throwing biome candy, specific items relating to the biome that you desire, and a diamond into the cauldron, it'll charge up and unleash a blast of pure magic, switching the biome to whatever one you chose within a 12-block radius, allowing biome-specific mobs to spawn in the area. To choose which biome you'd like to convert the area into, you'll need the new biome candy item. Not much is known about it at the moment, but my theory is that you have to go to a biome, use the biome candy to save said biome, and then throw it into the crucible to convert the biome around the crucible. Again, that is just a guess. But with all of that, that is all that we've got right now. That is everything I could have gathered from the previews and the Discord and everything. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments below. I'll make sure to make an updated review video when the Candy Cavity releases to the public, which I'm sure will have a ton more stuff and maybe even some cool tools, enchantments, the works. But as of this preview being released, that is all of the knowledge that I have on this sweet new cave. So if you're excited, tap that subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and maybe like the video while you're at it, you know, slide you a cookie, or get the Licco Witch to turn your entire family into Caniac. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.